So you have a roofing business and you want more leads, or you have SEO clients in the roofing space and you want to get them better results so they stay longer with you and ultimately you make more money. Amazing. So this is what you're going to learn in this video. One, how to exactly read the search engine results page for the main terms that you want to rank for, and really separate the nonsense from the things that matter, and then the things that matter, how to break down all the numbers behind those rankings so you know exactly what to do to rank both on maps, on organic search, as well as on AI powered search engines. Let's go. This is Alejandro. Welcome to another video in the series How to Rank for Everything and Anything and Then Some, a video series in which I show you one case study a day, how to rank for any niche. And today we're doing roofers. I'm using Denver as the example city. We just did a project in this exact niche, results like this. And I just want to show you the principles and the reasoning behind getting results like that. So first thing we gotta do, Google the damn keyword, all right? Roofers Denver, amazing. What do we see here on Google? Map pack, and then people also ask. I've said this multiple times in these kind of videos, but map pack will amount to about 60% of the conversions. The other 40% will be down here, which means you cannot ignore this. It's 40% of all the money that you're gonna make, okay? Who is here depends massively on the quantity and quality of the reviews that they have on the Google business profiles, as well as the velocity in which they're acquiring said reviews, the sentiment, the velocity, the amount, and then the total rating for SVAM, if you fancy Russian sounding acronyms, okay? I just made that up on the spot, so that's what you get. What happens if one, you're starting a business or you're starting in a new location with your already established business, which basically is a new Google business profile that is not going to have the age, which also matter, and it's not going to have any of these reviews. I suggest you start ranking down there. Let's make a little scrolly scroll. You start by ranking here, which is insanely easier. There you go, little graffiti there. To rank against these competitors here, this is the one comparable competitor in these results. Then we have BBB. These two results here are hard bake. This is also hard bake. You can get featured here, which will also in turn help you be featured here, even though they work completely differently. You want to see? If you see this keyword here, the sources are Best Choice Roofing, YouTube, and YouTube links here. These produce about 1.4% the amount of clicks that a regular result will produce. It doesn't mean that you get 1.4% of all your global clicks from that. No, mein Freund, it means 1.4 of what you would get in comparison from being here, okay? And funny enough, what we see here is not what we saw up there. And finally, now we are seeing AI overviews on the people also ask. Amazing. Quality results. Now in some other FAQs, then we get actual website. How do we rank there and also here? And funny enough, here, this is pulling from Yelp. This is pulling from Facebook. And this is pulling primarily from Bing. And as you see here, the variety of results here, as well as on Google and on the other search engines, tells us something very clear. Loads of different businesses within the same niche can be getting leads from all these different platforms. Do all platforms send the same amount of leads to all businesses? Absolutely not. Google is still the #1 referrer of traffic for all things local. Within the #1 referrer, this is 60%. So ideally, yes, you would put your effort here on the 60%, but what happens when this is also insanely difficult? Then you want to go and rank here where the difficulty is low. How do we know? Well, I've segmented the backlink profile of the top competitors, and given that backlinks is about 80% of the job when it comes to ranking, both on Google, Bing, as well as therefore being featured in most AI-powered search engines. And the ranking in the organics will help you rank better in the maps. Really, most of your effort should go here, provided, of course, that you have the other 20% covered this 20%, which is your content and your website needs to be done first. It's a condition sine qua non. There is a 40-minute masterclass in the description box of this video where you can learn a lot more about that. And if you want to see how I got these numbers here for these competitors, so you can run this kind of analysis for your clients and no longer have to answer the question, should I be building links? And no longer have to say yes, and I don't know how many. So you can go straight to your clients and say, hey, you need to build backlinks, and this is exactly how many you have to build and why. And it's based on this one competitor who is taking most of the pie, and this is exactly what they've done. Isn't it gorgeous to have data to back up our opinions? It is, in my opinion. So these three guys, Interstate Roof, are one of the guys that's performing the best throughout the niche. This is exclusively an assessment of the SEO performance. This has nothing to do with those businesses as businesses, the services that they offer, none of that stuff. I'm gonna go briefly over their websites to see some of the things that they've done good in each one of these cases so you can implement this into your own website or your client site. Amazing. So now that we see here that Interstate Roof has a crack load of pretty high power links, and so does Metro City, but then turns out that the Wilson's Brothers Roofing has very few backlinks and still rank well for some of the terms and pull good traffic from organic search, even though they're barely starting when it comes to link building, really, right? Very low DR, only a handful of points, right? If we compare this with Interstate, which is at DR 34, a lot better established, right? With at least 26 link points on the DR 60 plus and a bunch of other ones in the DR 50 plus, right? This section here, this half, this is the high power link section, okay? So they have almost 40 points in there. Then it's quite clear to me that if we look at the organic performance of these businesses and we see just how many keywords they're ranking for and how much traffic they are getting, and therefore how many AI overviews are also starting to capture, how many mentions from Gemini are they starting to capture, and that the total amount of referring domains that they have is low, but that once we split this into noise and signal, the signal here is even lower. We just said it's only 40 points of high DR. Then you know, okay, with 40 points of really high DR links, I should be able to get growth like this. And you would likely be right, provided that, again, you have good content and a properly built website. If we look at what they rank for clarity, this is Interstate. That's how the website looks like. You can very quickly segment yourself as a viewer between residential or commercial and then condos, HOAs, etc., and storm damage, which is a very big one, right? Storm damage, again, very big one for them. There, as you can see, it's a Denver Roofing Contractors. That's what they have on the description of the homepage, even though they don't have a big heading here screaming Denver Roofing Contractors. They have it a little bit farther down below here on the page, right? They don't have it right on the homepage that they only serve Denver. Metro City Roofing does have it here on their homepage, and so does Wilson Brothers Roofing right there on the H1. And if we compare the performance, Metro City Roofing is actually ranking for almost twice as many keywords, even though they don't have that much traffic yet, but they're also in a positive ranking state. Their traffic is growing, therefore the leads are as well. And the big difference is Metro City Roofing has way stronger performance here on AI power search, which, again, let's remember, this is going to be probably 92% of where all the leads are going to come from. And there's going to be about 2 to 3% of the leads coming from this, right? And then the rest is going to be Bing and a handful of other platforms. Okay, let's put things into context, because people are losing their minds now paying randoms on LinkedIn $5,000 a month retainers for GEO services that is just going to make them publish content and get backlinks. And this is Wilson Brothers. Hey, it isn't nowhere nearly as many keywords, but guess what? They're pulling 1,000 visitors a month, and all the traffic that they're getting is exactly bottom of the funnel stuff, highly ready to convert, which is what matters way more, because when we look at the list of keywords that some of these other competitors are ranking for, right? There's way more keywords. And when you look here at what's the top SEO competitor for Denver specifically, right? You see that they're ranking for so many related keywords, hyper focus, but they are not the biggest competitor. Once we come here, if you look at the sample list of keywords here, and we go down and we actually look at the results, this is the fictitious brand that we would like to rank, for this very high search volume. Yes, there is the BBB. We need to ignore this. A company that manufactures styles, we need to ignore. And this is the actual roofing company that we need to look at. What do they have at DR34? And this is exactly how many quality points do they have. If you're not familiar with what I'm saying, points here, no backlinks, let me go back here to the beginning. I've said this in every single video in this series, but if you're enjoying them, you can go to the playlist that I have here on YouTube and it has all these videos. But basically backlinks only matter if they have trust. Then we have to segment them by authority, which is what we do here. And then the next thing is the relevance, and the relevance puts things into context. If a link is irrelevant, but is trusted and authoritative, obviously if it comes from this bucket here, I don't care, right? Less than the 30, I don't care. Then it still matters, even if the relevance is not really there, right? It's gonna be half a point. If the relevance is perfect, both at the website level and at the page level, that link is gonna get 2 points. Most backlinks, however, will only get 1 point. Why? Most likely the website will only be okay and the page will only be okay, right? That's what most backlinks in the wild get you. So when we do this analysis here, okay, or this main keyword, and we see that the competitor Interstate Roof has this, becomes exactly what we need to do in terms of link building for our own website. In terms of the anchor text distribution, we should get mostly branded anchor text and partial anchor text to the ratio of 3:1. And you know exactly how many exact match anchor text we have? We have 0. So if you build the links to your clients and you're asking your link provider to build your links with this anchor text, Rufus Denver, and they say, yes, sir, of course, I will build you 20 backlinks with the anchor text Rufus Denver. Please know that they're just as lost as you are when it comes to the anchor text distribution. I say that with all due respect. Anchor text distribution has changed massively over the years and you cannot do exact match. Please, I implore you, that's how you're gonna keep your clients there. Not even on the top 100, and they will churn and they will be unhappy, and so will you. Let's instead do things right. When we look at roofing companies here in Denver, okay, Interstate Roof again, Sea-Doo, Roundup, Rubber Roof Tile, Manufacturer, what do we have? Same deal. Denver Roof Repair, same deal. Why are these guys winning so much? Oh, let me see. Roof Replacement Denver, now we have a different guy. What does this different guy have? A profile that's very close to this one. Interesting. Denver Commercial Roofing, what do we have? Western Roofing Company, what do they have? A backlink profile very similar to this other one here. What do we have next? Centimark with an inner page, very high DR. There's always going to be some degree of very high DR, right? And nothing at the page level. This is why they're not at the top. When we look for forensic roof inspection, what do we have? An internal page, high DR website, another internal page, high DR website, and what's likely forensic inspection services page with a couple of backlinks. So if we put all of these together, right, if we want to rank here, and 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 we want to rank here, what we ought to do is find out as many competitors, both hyper specific competitors like these three here that I just showed you, both competitors who are hyper specific like Interstate Roof and Metro City Roofing and Wilson Brothers Roofing and a bunch of other ones, as well as competitors who are bigger than that and serve larger areas who are also ranking there, like Mighty Dog Roofing here, right? Or Premier Roofing, which was featured multiple times on the Bing and ChatGPT results, and Infinity Roofer. And look at what are they ranking, how much of their focus is only for the city that we want to rank for, or if they're broader and you want to choose competitors that look like you. What does that mean? If my brand is a brand like this, where I serve multiple locations, if my brand is like this, and these are all my service areas, I need to look at a competitor like this and dissect the backlink profile, find out what they've done and what are they doing at each individual locations level, at the page level that's actually ranking. However, if my business looks like this, where I'm only serving a very specific city, I need to look at a competitor that is like this and see what are they doing with their backlink profile and their content, which is what I'm going to enter into now. What kind of content has Interstate Roof published? Well, they have a lot of processes, types of roofs loads of different locations, because it turns out that they also serve nationwide, even though it looks like their homepage is best optimized for Denver. And I need to see, of course, what's transferable. If I don't serve Denver and Florida, that's fine, but what I can learn from this is obviously the same thing as always. I need to create sub pages for all the sub locations in Denver that I do serve, and then all the important stuff that people will be looking for that they need to learn. Create that kind of content, 200 plus pages. Metro City Roofing, half as many pages. Loads of sort of like more middle of the funnel stuff, right? This is a lot more top of the funnel things, right? This is bottom of the funnel. This would be middle of the funnel, because that's the problem. The solution is the roofer, right? But Colorado hell is the problem. So if somebody's looking for that, it's because they're probably facing the problem, right? And if we see how easy it is to rank, you just come here to some of the smallest competitors and you see what it is that they've done. And they're doing pretty good for such a small website. So to summarize some of this and then give you some final extracts that you can apply. The most important thing in order to really succeed with organic search marketing, specifically if you do this for your own clients, is you need to get your hands in as much data as possible, specifically around the backlink profile of the top competitors, and you need to identify competitors that are comparable to your client. And if you're doing this for your own business, substitute client for you. And once you get that and then you do the data section, you need to go through all the data and understand what's going on. Okay, this is a non-comparable competitor, but they've done these things right. This is a comparable competitor and they've done these things right. And then in total, how many backlinks will I need to build to go from where I am, which is 0, if you are at 0, but you likely are somewhere there, and you need to find out where you are, and you can get that data put together very easily. The video tutorial on how to do that will be linked here in the corner. Then you need to decide what's going to be the strategy they're going to follow to close the gap from here to there, and how much that's going to cost. And you can do all of that before you spend a single dollar on SEO. But the answer is always going to be, you will have to publish content on your website that truly addresses the queries that your audience wants to get solved, and you will have to get your website featured in other people's websites. And whether that gets you a link back or just gets your brand name out there, is going to be a lot more situational for your case, and you need to get the data first to know what your situation is. If you don't know your circumstances, how are you supposed to save yourself? And that's from Ortega Gasset. There you go, a bit of philosophy there at the end of the video. So if we put all the data together for this exact case that we had for this fictitious Maya Hans Roofers Denver case, comparing to the top competitor, we would need to get 42 backlinks, and this is the breakdown that we have to get for the 30s, for the 40s, 13 the 50s, and 19 the 60s. The anchor text to use is going to be branded, and then partial match 3 of these for every one of these. Very straightforward. What is the velocity that we can build those links at so that we can get results? Is going to be massively dependent on a couple of things: the amount of existing traffic that the website has, the amount of brand positive signals that the website has, and the age of the website, as well as the size of the current backlink profile. All of these are going to be different constraints that will tell you how fast can you actually build these links. The last thing is, of course, how fast is the competitors building the links, and then therefore how do I get there faster than they are? And this is how strong you should make your domain. If you're approaching any sort, and I don't care if it's IEO or GEO or any other fancy acronym to basically talk about ranking on Bing and then therefore in ChatGPT, if you're doing any sort of work in your SEO before you get this data, you are likely wasting 80% of your effort. The other 20% will be the stuff that you do that is good, like optimizing your content and publishing some good pages. That's fine, right? But any sort of link building work that you do, which is going to be 80% of your SEO success, that you do without getting this data, is most likely wasted money. You will get the wrong backlinks pointing to the wrong pages with the wrong anchor text profile, and that's going to be bad for everyone. So if you want to get this kind of intelligence, you can go to getmelinks.com/link-report, and we will do one of these for you. It takes about about a day to put together, because this is not obviously some Ahrefs exports with a bit of lipstick on it. This is a manually done report driven by 6 years of intelligence at the Get Me Links, multiple 7-figure link building agency, that all it does is build links for big marketing teams as well as SEO agencies that need a partner that will give them the intelligence to make sure that their SEO deals are sensible, that they can present to their clients and set the right expectations. If you don't have a very clear understanding on how the competitors got to the top in the first place, and if you cannot explain why the search results pages look the way they do, you cannot possibly set realistic, clear, transparent, honest expectations with your SEO clients. You cannot accurately put together a budget on the amount of work that's going to be required to rank them, nor the amount of content that they have to publish, nor the actual topics of that content, let alone them going into the content and doing this query fan out that people are losing their minds about, basically chunk segmentation, all these things. You can't even start by putting together quality content if you don't even know the subjects that should go on that content, which is going to be the foundational 20% that then will enable you to build the right links to the right pages with the right anchor text at the right velocity to rank that content, and then get the client ranking in organic, get leads, close jobs, have those jobs give them really good reviews on the Google business profile, so they also start moving in the map pack. For competitive niches, you're gonna have to do all of this, and guess what's gonna happen when you do all of that right? AI overviews are gonna start to pick up, Bing rankings will start to go up, because Bing is even more influenced by link building, it's just even less nuanced, and therefore all the AI LLMs will read all the content on your website and all the content on other people's websites featuring your client, and it will get them a lot more juice. And that's how you win in search in the long run. If you believe SEO will still be a thing in 5 years, and after going through the largest shift in SEO in the history of ever, this is bigger than Hummingbird, bigger than Penguin, bigger than everything that's ever happened in SEO, has been the release of AI 2 years ago. This is the biggest shift, and guess what happened to SEO? It just became bigger. It just became a larger market. So if SEO is going to exist in 5 years, and therefore if you believe people will still have roofs that break and they need repair and will go somewhere to look for your clients, okay, and says, who can fix my roof? I'm in Denver, this is my problem, I need a quote now. If you believe that will still be true in 5 years, the work you do today will matter tremendously. And these segmentation of the backlink profile and getting the data and so forth has been true since the day Google started. There are very few things that are as consistent in the history of SEO than the fact that backlinks carry the job forward and make it happen. The nature of those backlinks, and let's say the road that you were allowed to walk on, has just gotten narrower in terms of what's accepted as good, which is good for everyone involved, because we used to be able to get away with murder when it came to the quality of link building, right, in the industry as a whole. And right now you're only going to get results if you have websites that are decently relevant from very trusted sources with good quality content and pointing to your clients in a very organic way. And those websites are very hard to find, and it takes a lot of work. So the only way to finish this massive rant here at the end of the video is to do the job right, and it's impossible to do it right without getting this. So if you want to see how to get this, go watch that 20-minute video that I have on YouTube where I explain the exact same process that we use at Get Me Links, step by step, and that creates reports like this if you then fancy to put that together in a PDF. And we've sold over 2,000 of these reports to SEO agencies and local businesses in the last 2 years alone, and we've been doing this for 6 years. Okay, and we've done hundreds of link building campaigns. I have case studies all over the shop on YouTube. I have them on the website. There are things that work and things that sound good. This is a mouthful to say all this in half an hour, and I could repeat myself once a day for the next God knows how many days, making one of these videos a day saying the same things, but I will continue to do so because this is what's right. So rant over. I hope you learned at least one thing for your SEO that was of value with this video. And if you want to get a report like this, go to getmeleads.com/link-report and you can get this. And last, of course, if you are then ready to go, you know what backlinks you need, and you know that you need backlinks, and you're ready to go and start investing into your organic strength so that you can rank in all of these different shops that basically work fundamentally the same way, you can come to getmelinks.com. And this is just a quick summary of what you can expect from our backlinks, and the results that we've gotten are put in everywhere. I'm not going to transform this into a pitch, but if actual quality link building to build the authority of your brand is what you're looking for, then this is the place to go, and this is what you're gonna get. Awesome. Well, this was Alejandro Mayahans with another video in the series How to Rank for Everything and Anything and Then Some. I will see you tomorrow for another niche. Thank you very much, and if you like what you saw, subscribe. Bye bye.